Hello and welcome to another edition of the Pigeon Academy Show. This is episode number 3. I'm your host, Rodney G, aka You Talk Too Much. We're coming to you live here from the Big Apple in New York City, and we're going to be bringing some really hot information today on today's show. Our show is really based on the home and pigeon aspect of the hobby. So a lot of the things we're going to cover today is going to be about the racing pigeon aspect of the hobby. But we definitely want you guys and gals to remember, you ladies and gentlemen, to remember that you got the Big Apple show going on in the Civic Center on November the 11th. That's going to be a big show. They're going to have a lot of birds there. You're going to have a lot of pigeon supplies, pigeon equipment. You're going to be able to meet a lot of different fanciers. Again, that's November the 11th. So on today's show, we're going to talk about the 3 major Facebook pages that pertain to racing pigeons. We're also going to be bringing you a video that we did from the 6-star loft based on breeding, planning, observation, all the way to execution, which is winning races. We're also going to be talking about some of our interviews that we're going to be doing with some of the racing fanciers, and we're going to be talking about one of our special guests that we're going to be doing a live phone interview with one of the top roller men from the West Coast. Don't miss the show. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about the 3 major Facebook pages that pertain to racing pigeon, the racing pigeon hobby. We're going to endorse 3 sites today on the Pigeon Academy. One of these sites that we're going to endorse, I'm going to say this, but these are sites that are based on high membership. The sites are clean. They bring a lot of good information. So we like to endorse the right thing. We like to endorse the people that's doing the right thing. We don't get anything from them. We don't ask anything from them. But if you're doing the right thing, we're going to endorse you here at the Pigeon Academy. The first site we have, it has over 10,000 members. This is the Pigeon Insider. Very popular site on Facebook. Visit it. Like the page, go on, you'll have a lot of fun there. That's the Pigeon Academy. That's over 10,000 members. You have the second page, in our opinion, the Show Off Your Racing Pigeon Pictures on Facebook group. This has 4,000 members. Another good page, very active members are on this page. A lot of good racing updates and information. Really good site. And the third one we have is the National Racing Pigeon Association, which has over 5,000 members. Go on, like these pages, become part of the social media wave with your racing pigeon hobby. You'll find that you'll have a lot of fun. You'll meet a lot of new good people. And above all, keep it clean and keep it professional. Welcome back. We're here again at the 6-star loft, and we're doing a video today based on some previous videos that we did about our pigeons from our Ace of Spade line. We're going to put together some information today, which I believe is very important for racers on the beginning and intermediate level. And you got to really follow the information from the first video. This is going to be video number 2, and I'm gonna speak on certain issues, and I think it's a point where you got to really listen in and follow what we're saying. You don't have to agree. I just want you to follow the train of thought that we used in our bird selection. So I'm gonna go over one of the things that we said that we were going to do before we even bought pigeons. What we did was we wanted to buy pigeons that were winning on an international level. So we went and we looked up some breeders here in the States who had pigeons that were winning on an international level, winning in Africa, winning in Barcelona, but they were here in the States, here in the United States. So we found a couple of those breeders, and we said that we were going to take from those breeders and select carefully how those birds were going to fit into our loft. So we got a cock bird that we end up breeding from a couple of different birds, and we chose this cock bird to be our foundation cock. So we named the cock bird the Ace of Spade. So then from the Ace of Spade, we went and we had some youngsters from him. In 2014, they gave us about 7 youngsters from this Ace of Spade cock, blue bar. And from there, we chose to keep 3 youngsters. And we rated those birds. Now, the bird we're handling here today, cameraman, you can zoom up on this bird. The bird that we're handling today is the direct son from the Ace of Spade cock. He was rated #1. Now, I did a video for the Pigeon Insider about how we rate pigeons on wing structure, balance, feather quality, intelligence, wing strength, wing length, and this bird was the subject of that video we did for the Pigeon Insider. We also did some videos for the 6-star loft where we were showing our cock birds from the Ace of Spade line, and this cock bird is King David. He was rated #1. Why are we bringing up King David? Is because in 2015 we took 4 birds, which were direct brothers and sisters from the Ace of Spade, which was his direct children, and also direct brothers from this bird, of this bird. So we took those 4 birds and we put them in what's called the King Lou's auction. And we had 4 youngsters out of the Ace of Spade. We had 4 youngsters. These 4 babies were coming from 2 different hens. Okay? And we took these 2 hens. One of them was rated #1, the hen, and the other one was rated #4. So we had our #1 cock bird mated with 2 hens which were rated #1 and #4. So the babies went on and they were selected in the auction by 2 gentlemen, one from City Island and one from Highland Loft. The birds were doing well for the gentlemen, both gentlemen, and they were training and they were coming back from races, and they were scoring well in the 100 and 150 and the 200. And I was clocking that. I was clocking how those birds were doing, because we were utilizing this as a test to test our birds out in the field. And we wanted to see what these birds were going to do, these young birds. And the birds started doing well. I put those parents back together in the fall, and you're going to see in video #3, we just got some youngsters from that line. But the thing was, in video, in the races, we were building up to the King Lou's race, which was our top bird race at 350 miles. That was our top bird race. There was other races like the Big Apple, there was the World Trade Center, there was a challenge race, but we had these birds picked and selected and sent to the King Lou's race through these 2 handlers. And hopefully in the future, these 2 handlers will be doing some business with them, because they proved themselves to be good handlers, and hopefully we'll be doing some business with them in the future. But to go on with the story, 2 of the birds over in City Island, they were clocking. They were clocking. They are the same from King David. They are the same, got the same mother, same father. And they were clocking. At the end result was, when we did the King Lou's race, right before the King Lou's race, 2 days before the King Lou's race, one of the birds died. The handler said the bird was choking on something. The bird must have picked up a piece of metal or something, and the bird passed 2 days before the King Lou's race. The other bird, which was not doing as quite well as the bird that passed, ended up scoring 2nd place from 350 miles from this line in the King Lou's race. It showed us one thing, that these birds were proving themselves in our first year to score at such a high rate as coming in 2nd place. Now what we want to do is this. This is going to be another part of the video. What we want to do is, I was teaching my partner about handling pigeons. And cameraman, I want you to zoom in on this. And you can see the bird is flaking, which is a good sign. And I was teaching my partner a lesson the other day in a loft, and I was telling him I took 4 birds. I took his father, eagle, the bird that was rated number 2 in 2014, and this bird. And I told my partner, close your eyes. I told my partner, close your eyes, and I wanted him to handle each bird with his eyes closed. After he handled all 4 birds, he had this bird picked as the number 1 bird that he had handled based off of everything. Let me tell you, this bird right here, you got to handle this bird with 2 hands. That's how powerful King David is. He's a powerful bird. And again, one of his family members came in 2nd place in the King Lou's race. So we determined that the birds were winning birds from winning family lines. This we knew. When they told me the bird had came in 2nd place, I was not surprised. I'm not being cocky or arrogant. I was not surprised. I was happy, but I was not surprised. Because I knew the birds we had selected to breed from were birds that were already winning on an international level. Now in the States here, any bird that can win at 350 is a good bloodline. You can win anywhere in the country at 350 miles. The longer distance races, 4s and 5s, most of your one loft races, they max out at 350. So if you can score high in that category, you know you got winning bloodlines. And one thing we knew, one thing I knew, is that this was a good line of pigeon. Based on observation, based on his wing structures, based on his muscles, based on his sharpness, based on his IQ, I knew these were good birds. I knew it. I said, I wasn't surprised. When they said, Petty, your bird scored 2nd, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't like, oh my goodness, shot. I said, I knew they were going to do well. Because I'd done my homework and I'd done my research. And this is what I want to tell you guys today on the beginner and intermediate levels. Do your homework. Study birds. Study their characteristics. Sit down in your loft. Watch your birds. Watch how they act before they fly. Watch them in the air, how they fly. Watch how they respond when they come back, whether they're eating. There's a lot of things just from observation you're going to learn from your birds. Watch how they mate up. Who's first to mate up? Who's first to get to the food? First to get to the water? Who's first to defend their area? These are all key trigger points. Look at this. I'm struggling over here to hold this bird. So cameraman, let me do this. I'm going to pause. Pause, cameraman. Alright, we're back. We had to get rid of the bird. The bird was struggling and we didn't want to injure the bird, so we had to put the bird away. But again, I just want to summarize some points here. Our next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to Bobby's loft. He invited us to come over. We're going to take some pictures of the 2nd place bird. I'm going to then take that bird with my partner, who I showed what a winning bird feels like, what a top quality bird feels like, and I want my partner to handle the bird. Once my partner handles that bird, he'll have a better idea what winning birds feel like. I mean, you might not think it's important, but it's very important. It's critical that you understand what a great bird feels like. You will know. You'll visit many lofts, and you'll go in and you'll say, let me handle your 1st place, 2nd, 3rd. And you will see there's not much difference in those birds. The strength in the bird's wing and body and endurance and so forth. We watch all of those things carefully. I never buy homing pigeons on a whim. I never go to the pet shop and say, oh, that's a night. I never buy birds like that. We study pedigrees, we study race results, and then we want to get in and we want to select the birds based off us handling the birds. If I can't do those 3 things, I don't mess with the birds. I don't deal with the birds. I don't purchase them. So I need to have those 3 things. But now our next mission, our next video is to go to Bobby from City Island, sit with him, get the bird in our hands, handle the bird, then rate that bird with our best 2014 birds. Like for example, King David, he supersedes his father. His father is smaller. King David is bigger, stronger, more muscles. Why? Because of the nutrition that we gave him in 2014. He was raised on a different level of nutrition than his father was. If we can get, next year, 2016, if we can get 30 to 40 birds like that, we're going to really put a dent in the races, in the World Trade Center, in the King Louis, in the Derby, North Carolina Classic. We want to get to the point where we're sending those birds to Africa, where we're sending those birds to the Black Sea race, where we're sending those birds to Barcelona. We're headed down that path because we've carefully selecting our birds, we're carefully breeding our birds, we're giving the birds an excellent health program, and now we're getting the results that we're looking for. We're getting the results. And the next video that you're going to see us go to Bobby out in City Island. We're going to handle the bird, we're going to videotape it, then we're going to rate that bird with our 4 best birds, and we're going to see what classification he falls in there. Look for the next video. This has been the 6-Star Loft. Hey, if you want to contact us here at the Pigeon Academy, feel free to go to our Facebook page and see us on Pigeon Academy. Like our page. If you want to see us on YouTube, please subscribe to our show on YouTube, where you can find us at the Pigeon Academy Show. You can also send us an email if you have any questions, any comments, you're looking to do an interview, you got anything on a subject matter that you need some clarity on, or you got a project that you think you can work with us on, please email us at pigeonacademy25@yahoo.com. That's pigeonacademy25@yahoo.com. If you want to call me direct, Rodney G, aka You Talk Too Much, call me direct at 347-299-1480. That's 347-299-1480. We back here at the Pigeon Academy, and we are hoping to bring some very good interviewers to you in the very near future. We reached out to Baldwin and Tilson. They were the grand champions of the 2014 one loft races here in the United States. This information was based off the Pigeon Digest and a survey that they did, and they came up with this award called the Grand Champions. And we reached out to Baldwin and Tilson, and we're hoping that they follow up and give us an interview. You know, we're out hunting and doing a lot of things to try to bring you the best people in our sport, to get some tidbits from them, get some inspiration from them, get some advice from them, get some tips from them. We also reached out to a very interesting gentleman, Oliver Henderson. He's a spinning roller flyer in California. He's one of the top guys, one of the top pioneers. He's been in the spinning game for many years. We hope to be doing an interview with him. We're going to be doing a live phone interview with him, so we're looking forward to that. We want to be bringing you all these nice and creative things coming from the sport and coming from different aspects of the sport. I'm going to say this now. We're going to be covering racing, show pigeons, flying pigeons, and the roller pigeons.